Peace and blessings. Salute to everybody tapped in. This is the Plug Room where you can plug your business, plug your brand. We're all about community development. As I have shared with you, I have been taught from my teacher that community development is building people and linking people with people. We appreciate everybody for tapping in today in the Plug Room. We will be operating in the community development aspect. There are 3 categories for the Plug Room that we delve into. That's community development, as I explained. We also have audio forensics, where we take different pieces of audio, analyze it, break it down, and we get it out there. And then the 3rd category is the AU, the Art Unveiled, where we tap in with creators on any type of art creation that they have. And I go from thought all the way to the final product. So we appreciate you for tapping in. Make sure you visit theplugroom.com. Hit that button, plug your business, plug your brand. Make sure you get on the app waiting list. Make sure you tap in with us, comment, share it out to your people. If you want to be on the Plug Room, text the Plug Room to 559-791-8468. And that's what it is. We have none other than the Mix Mafia Network, celebrity DJ Cat X. What's good, man?
Hey, man, what's good, man? Hey, nice platform you got here, my brother. How long you been had this running?
Man, this platform is new, but we've been in the makings or the background of building this platform for 20 years. So we've been in the business of community development for 20 plus years, my brother. And so that led up to now to have you in here. So how you feeling today?
Oh, man, I'm feeling fantastic, man. God is good, man. God is real good.
Indeed, indeed. So for those that don't know or haven't heard of Celebrity DJ Cat X, what I want to know is, what was your genesis of your brand, of the Mix Mafia brand? What was the beginning and how has it evolved, and what has it evolved to now?
Well, Mix Mafia started off as DJs. Started out in North Carolina. I was in a strip club, and I noticed that the strip club DJs, this is before it was like it is now. Now the way to break a record is in the strip club. But back then, the strip club DJs were taunted and laughed at and talked about. So being that we were the outcasts, I was like, yo, we ought to form up, together and, and make something happen. So then it came up on the name. So I just happened to be watching the Godfather when we was talking about the name. So, the thing came up and I seen those hands. So my graphic guy at the time, he was nice. So then, I told him I had the idea, man, the Mix Mafia DJs. He said, the name sound hot. And I explained to him the logo and how to do it. Boom. So, he did that. So we started with that. We started, running with that. Once we started running with that, it got to blow up, then, things change and then you move on. So then the coalition DJs, they picked up on that in the Atlanta market. They got more strip clubs in the Carolina. So they basically just took over that market. All right. So then, I threw that in my back burner. The DJs was always still there, but we just threw that in the back burner and went to something else. So then the radio came up. So then, Mix Mafia Radio came up. So then, I started off with Mix Mafia Radio, a show. It started out as a show. It wasn't even a station. It was just a show. It actually started on Wu-Tang Radio. That's where it started at. Then from there, it blowed up. Then station here in town, they heard the show. They liked it. So they put me on the show. So I was doing Saturdays from, 8 to 10. Yeah, Saturdays 8 to 10 here live on the radio. We would leave there and go to the club. And the club would sponsor the show. So it was nice. That ran until that ran me down to Atlanta. Then once I went down to Atlanta, I hooked up with a guy down there from Miami. He was real radio techie. He was the guy that was down with Streets 104 in Atlanta. He was the guy over that. So he helped put that together. So he liked how I did shows. So he had his own radio station. Like, yo, man, why don't you come over and start doing mine? Because you're good at programming and DJing and all that. You know a lot of DJs. So I started off with him. I worked that for about 3-4 years. He wound up moving back to Miami. So when he moved back to Miami, he's like, look, man, you did some great stuff for me, man. I owe you. So he basically gave me the whole setup. He gave me the board, the whole setup, because I was working it anyway. He said, now you can change it, everything out, and turn it, because when he had it was called Music Research Lab. So he said you could change it and turn it to Mix Mafia Radio. So after we did that, the rest was history. So we had the one station. So the one station started doing good. So then, indie artists started talking about, well, it's not a station for us, because I had a show on there called the Indie Show that I did Monday through Friday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. So indie artists started hitting me up more and more. Yo, we got, you got something for just us. So then I came up with Artist Network Radio, which is all for indie artists. That's all we play 24/7. Then from that, we just kept growing. Then we went, to E100, and then, we got other stations. Now we got a slew of stations that's coming out. We got another 6 stations that'll be out in 2 weeks. They'll be hitting the airwaves, and you can go check them out on the Global Media Network app.
No doubt, no doubt. So DJing to strip clubs to radio to stations, seems like you've been in it all. Why did you choose this as your lane, or how did Celebrity DJ Cat X choose DJing as your lane, and then radio and strip clubs? Why was that your choice and not anything else?
Well, when I first came to the game, I came into this whole game off of DJing. Just the love of the music. When I first got into it, it wasn't about money. Because, I keep telling these artists and the DJs, when we were doing it, it wasn't about money at all. It wasn't about money. Because, like, we was just trying to, figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So when I was young, my junior high teacher, I used to come, like, when you get lunch in junior high school, just come out the cafeteria. I used to play records all the time. I would just play records all the time. So, he liked how the kids were dancing to the records. Now, mind you, I wasn't even mixing or nothing. Them old school record player they had with the big speaker and the needle you put on it, and it just played through and the record was on there. I just had 2 of those and I was doing it. And he was like, you're pretty good at that. He said, you ever thought about DJing? And I was like, nah, I don't know what that is. He said, basically, you're doing that now. You know what I'm saying? So from that, yeah, she got to be quiet. I don't want to hear that. Anyway, so yeah, he said, what I need you to, do is, you say you think you can do that continuously. I said, I don't know. What's the purpose? So he said, look, we having a school dance. He said, I think you'd be good for the school dance. He said, if you can do that and entertain everybody, I'll basically pay. So, once he said that money factor, because I've been doing stuff all that time and not getting money. So he talking about a check. So, I went home, talked to my parents, stepdad at the time, he went and rented me all this equipment. I did the party. The party was successful. So after that, I became the school DJ. After I became the school DJ, everybody just started hiring me to do the neighborhood parties. Now, all that was going fine until I did this one party, and this one set of people, they didn't feel like they had to pay me. So they gave me what they wanted to give me, not what I asked for. So, my mother, she was into banking at the time. She was big at the bank, and she know how to do contracts and trust and stuff. So after I got screwed that one time, she was like, come here, I'm going to show you how to do a contract, and you're never gonna have those problems again. So she wrote up my first contract, showed me how to do it, and after that, like she said, I never had those problems again. And I guess by her elevating me to do it on contract, it put me in a different mode. So then I started meeting, different people. So I guess my first encounter with the production of promotions from the DJing, Jeff House from Capitol Records, he came down. I was DJing this club called Party Zone here. The club was off the chain. I mean, the club was so off the chain that they did a write-up about the club in the Source. So when they did the write-up in the Source, for those who don't know what the Source was a big magazine during our days. If you was in the Source, you were big. No matter where you were, if you were in the Source magazine, you were a big deal. So the club made it up in the magazine. It was a write-up on me in the magazine. So he came all the way from Capitol Records out of California to see me. He came in there. Club was crazy and it was off the chain. So he came up and he said, do you know what you're doing? I said, yeah, man, I'm DJing, making money. I mean, I'm banging mad bras, smoking mad weed. I'm living the life. You know what I mean? I'm at that time, I was getting $2,500 a week. at that time. And that was like unheard of for a DJ at that time. So he's like, nah, you're doing promotions because you're talking about what's going on and what's happening. You're doing promotion. So he gave me his number and he said, tell you what, we switch numbers. When I get back to LA, I'm going to call you. And he started explaining stuff. So then he showed me how to start doing promotions for record labels. He started sending me a whole bunch of stuff. I started giving it out, playing the music. The music started getting girth. So when that happened, he started turning other labels onto me. For I know I'm already doing work for like about 6 labels. I didn't even know what I was doing. He just said, look, only thing you got to do is go out, pass out all this stuff, and make sure the record plays. He said, being that you're a DJ, you got half of that beat. Because you can just play the record where you at, and you saying you breaking it. Now, you're going to get the records first. So he the one turned me on to record breaking. Because when I was DJing, I wasn't breaking records. I was just playing records that was already hitting. He's like, nah, I'm going to get you the records early. You're going to have it for anybody in the Carolinas. So he was giving me records, straight from the record company. They weren't even out yet. So I'm breaking them. I'm ahead of radio and I'm ahead of everybody. So they like put me, ahead of the curve. So then all these record companies, they start sending their records to get broke. So then once they start sending the records to get broke, they start sending the artists down there to do shows. So I wind up doing all the bookings for the whole Carolinas. It's not too many artists that you can name out from, I would say the 80s up to currently now that they didn't have to touch me in some type of way, because I booked the shows. I set them up for a lot of events, the meet and greets, everything I did. I mean, from your little guys. Now, when I tell you guys about these people, I started with these people before they were what they are now. Like T.I. I know T.I. from the first album when it didn't work. A lot of people don't know that. Little John, he learned how to DJ from me. Little John used to actually DJ with me down here in Charlotte. He actually wrote those 2 songs, Shake It Like a Salt Shaker and the other one, To the Window, to the Wall. Those are actually my songs, my sayings. That's what I used to say in the club all the time. The Shaking the Salt Shaker, that was my signature thing in the club. I used to make the girls get crazy. I could DJ at a regular club and make regular girls take their clothes off. This was in the time of the Luke era. Me and Luke, when we hooked up, I wind up being a fill-in DJ for Luke whenever Mr. Mix couldn't come or they had other gigs when they was busy. I was the fill-in DJ. So I, learned their sets. I was with them for about 3-4 years. In the 3 or 4 years of being with Luke, I learned a lot from Luke. I learned how to control Lex and the More Money Girls. I took 6 girls, my own records at the time. So what I used to do was take the other records, mimic them, and come off. And it gave me a lot of notoriety, far as, in the area. They used to pay me like $4 grand, to come do a show. We would go to different cities and everything. It was good times, man. Then, that played out. Then other things came into play. Um, I'm working for Tommy Boy Records. They send me on the road with a lot of artists. I've been on the road with Everlast. If everybody don't know who that is, he changed his name to Whitey Ford. I was with him on the tour. I was the only black guy on an all-white redneck tour. But hey, if they paying, cat playing, I don't care. It's all about, the money. Try to get with it. I came Wu-Tang when they started Razor Sharp Records. I was one of the first employees over there on the Wu-Tang brand. When Wu-Tang started the Wu-Tang Coalition, I was on the original second team of the first team. A lot of people don't know the first team was crazy. You had Tony Touch, you had Ron G. Every major DJ in New York that was the bomb on the streets, they were on Wu-Tang Radio when it first started. And the Wu-Tang DJ Coalition, they were all, with that. A lot of things sprung from that. I don't know if you guys know about 24K, the 24K mixtape thing. That started from Wu-Tang. We all work together in one thing. But people grow, and I guess when people grow, they got their own intentions. Like, I think a lot of people slept on the guy with 24K mixtapes. I think they slept on him because he was the person that was behind live mixtapes. A lot of people don't know that. He was the person behind live mixtapes. So it came to a point, he came to me and he said, Cat, I think we could do something super. And he said, I think you could put it together. So we did something that nobody thought of. We took the Wu-Tang radio station and we put it on the 24K mixtape thing, and we made it a Wu-Tang DJ Coalition takeover. So now the radio station was playing live during while you going to look at the mixtape. The radio station playing live, and it's got the swarm, the bees, because the Wu-Tang's about to kill the bees, so it's like the killer bee takeover, and it was dope. Like they had the DJ's faces in the bees, like the bees were coming down when each DJ get ready to play. His bee would come down and land on the hive, and it would be his head on that bee, and that was just like dope, and that took over. But people get egos and they do what you do. And I just call it, you have to grow. I think one person outgrows the other person. So that person has to go on and keep doing basically what they're doing. So then when that, it played out, because I think everything has a timing. And I think that played out. So after that played out, I met up with Master P in Miami at this convention called How Can I Be Down? He explained to me, look, man, I'm trying to be the next thing. He said, I heard you was the guy in Carolina. You already working for all the labels. I guess he already studied me. He told me all the labels I was working for at the time. He told me the results of all my records in the area at the time. And I didn't realize that it was like that. And he was like, you a big deal. He said, everybody in the industry saying you run the Carolinas. I'm like, well, if they say so, that's what it is. We exchanged information. He said, when I come off this tour, I'm going to call you. He called me like 2 weeks later. We hooked up. I mean, the rest is history. Once P told me, because when I first started playing his music, they used to boo me, throw Heineken bottles at me, boo, kill the DJ, all this stuff. They wasn't feeling it. I was, started with About It. They wasn't feeling it at all when I first started playing it. And I tell, these stories. A lot of people don't believe when I tell this, but he please. So I called P. I'm like, yo, man, I'm about to lose my job, man. I'm playing the records, and these guys, they throwing bottles in the club owner. They don't want me to play it no more. I want to keep it 100 with you, but I got to keep it 100 with this. Is how I'm eating. He was like, Cat, man, I'm telling you, this thing finna break. He said, I tell you what, dog, if you stay fast with me, what I'm going to do, he said, man, I'm going to make all them kiss your ass when the record break in your area. He said, what you mean? He said, I'm going to make everybody come to you. Man, the one thing out of everybody I've worked with, nobody's kept their word like Master P. Everything that he said that he was going to do, he did. When we started working, I didn't have an agreement with him like the other record companies. I had a standing firm agreement with them. It's basically, you do this how much we're going to pay you. So I was getting paid. So you figure at my highest point doing that, I was working for 12 labels. I was making $2,000 a piece a month from each label. So once I told P, what I was already making from what I was doing, he said, what if I could bring you into my fold, make you the main person, and I could top that? So I was like, if you could do that, no problem. So basically what he did, he rounded up what I was already getting. And my first check, I think my first check he sent me with my first plaque was $12,000, if I'm not mistaken, 12 grand. So that was like outstanding standing conditions without us talking about it. He was so real. We never had to do any paperwork or anything. We never had to do that. I had the access to all the artists. I was in control of all the radio play for the DJ because he already knew I was in radio because I was getting him on radio. So he put me in control of that. So I did all the No Limit radio shows, like we had no limit shows in the radio. I was in control of that. I don't want allocated all that. I changed up the game because No Limit had so many records. Instead of having the DJs carry all them albums, I took all the hits and I put it on the 6-record set, and I gave each DJ 2 sets of that because I liked the mix at that time, and we needed 2 records. That went off real big. He pressed up hundreds of these, and he basically had me go in each city and state, and I hand gave these DJs the records, and he said, "His thing while I'm doing that, cat. You weigh no limit stuff. I had a chain like they had, all that. I had a Rolly. I had a Rolex, but it had the no limit tank in it and all that. And I used to wear all the clothes. And I used to wear no limit clothes 7 days a week. That's how many shirts I had of P. And then when P had those clothes and them sneakers and all that, I had everything. That's all I wore. I was a walking no limit campaign. You know what I'm saying? Those were, the good old days. But like with everything, time marches on and things change. So when that changed, that's when I got into the radio heavy. So now, how things is changing and the COVID and everything. So now from the radio, I hooked up with ACW, and now we got radio and TV. So from there, now we hooked up with WhoMag. So now we got radio, TV, videos, and we got the distribution. So now we are your one-stop shop for any artist, not just indie artists, but indie artists. Because on the WhoMag side, I not only specialize on indie artists, I also specialize on veteran artists. I don't like to call the artists old. I like to call them seasoned, you know. So now, we concentrating on that. What you call them? I forgot, can't remember the name of the boys. Let Me Love You. What's the cat's name? It ain't even ringing no bells right now. I can't think of. But we got so many artists. I got YZ. He's gonna be coming in. I'm working out something with Brother Jay. I'm working out something with Dad. I got a lot of old school artists that we're bringing in right now. We got Just Ice. We got Just Ice already signed. We got Force MDs. We got Mikey D. We're trying to work out something with Ken right now. So our specialty is going to be getting the seasoned artists and putting them up under the new distribution to make them vibrant again. Like Humag and the deal that we got with Sony and the Orchard. It's a nice deal. Everybody that me and Rob get together and we touch, man, it's amazing. Everybody loving the results. Everybody getting numbers, radio, everything. Everybody is ecstatically happy. So we're just trying to keep it going. So if you're an indie artist or you're a seasoned artist out there and you've been doing it and you think what you're doing, using DistroKid and all those what we call a self promotion things that you're using, and you looking for a result, I think that if you come and get with us, we can show you a result. Because what we do, we don't just talk you to death. We actually show you what we're doing so you can get an understanding of what we're doing. Because my goal as a cat trying to teach these young artists is not just to sign them under distribution, not just to put them on the radio, not just to do what the average person does, but my goal is to teach them what's going on, so now you can understand it for yourself and you can do things for yourself. Because my end up goal is to only have to put artists in distribution. I done gave you enough game where you're gonna be able to go out on your own. And for those who don't know, me and Slay Stone, we are actually setting up the class where you're gonna be able to go just go online and take the class, and it's gonna show you everything. And what this class is gonna be, it's not gonna be the average class like everyone else has. Everyone else that's doing classes, they're just showing you how to fill out the paperwork. We're gonna actually go into detail. See, my thing is, what's the use of teaching a person how to fill out paperwork when they don't understand what they're filling out? Well, my goal is to teach you publishing, distribution, the terms, the conditions, the things that they don't let you know. And not only that, teach you the beginning of hip hop, or if you're an R&B artist, teach you the beginning of R&B and where the turntables and DJing came from. So I think that if artists don't know their history, then they have a limited outcome in their future. Because we all know everybody is somebody, they studied their history. So only thing I can do is encourage you artists to study your history, to find out where all this stuff came from, understand where rap came from. I think for a lot of artists out now, if they understood where rap came from, I think they would have a better definition of the culture of hip hop, and it wouldn't be the type of music that we're listening to. Because I think the type of music that we listen to, I think because we listen to that is because the kids that are making the music now, they don't have a direction of where it came from. They're only going off what's happening now. I just think with history, you learn where it came from. You learn the true meaning of what this is. This is rap for expression. It's really not a money thing. The man turned it into commercialized and made it a money thing. But if you go back and look at the culture and bring up the elements of what it all stands for, it's about expression. Everything in the culture of hip hop is about expression. But they took rap out of the culture of where it came from and put it by itself. And that's where we are now. So what I'm trying to do is get up with collective people with likewise thinking like myself to start to build the change of what's going on. And I have people on board. Like I said, I have YZ on board. I have Brother J on board. I have a lot of the seasoned veterans that's believing in this, and they're going to be coming on with the class that me and Slate are going to be doing, and they're going to be saying their piece and telling you about what happened to them in the industry. Because I don't care what nobody tells you. Everyone from the old school industry that had a deal, they all got screwed. Everybody. Because a majority of those artists back then, they didn't own their publishing or their music. So they're still getting screwed to this day. That's why you have artists, going at it with these people to get their publishing back. I think De La Soul just got their publishing back. And they got mad albums on Spotify. People, if you don't control your publishing, you're not getting none of that money. And it's money being made. And I think, a lot of you artists, you're slipping because you're just looking at the digital side of the money. That's only one side of a record. You know how many parts of a record that you have? You got the publishing, you got the mechanical, you got the royalty, you got the performance. Look how many parts that is of the record that you're supposed to get off every record. Every time that you perform, even if you go to perform at an open mic, you got to pay to get in to perform at the open mic, right? But guess what? You can get your money back. If you're properly signed up with your pro, and if you don't know what they stand on, Performance Rights Organization. If you sign in a pro, if you don't know what a pro is, I'm going to tell you. A pro is ASCAP, a pro is BMI, and a pro is CSAC. Those are the main three that you need to be signed with. You need to be signed with one because you can't be signed with all. But you need to get the one that better fits you. I suggest any artist listening right now to go look up what I just told you and find out which one better fits you. BMI might fit you better. ASCAP might fit you better. CSAC might fit you better. Pick one, sign up to it. Okay? That's going to start. I suggest any artist that's starting, you make the song, that's the next step that you do. Get your business in order because it's going to come fast. And when it comes fast, you want to be prepared. I know a lot of artists out there, they rely on other people to do stuff for them. What I say, don't rely on anyone. Rely on yourself and your own recognizance because I know artists that got people to do stuff for them. Now, these people did the stuff. They filled it out, but they filled it out where everything comes back to them. So now the artist got to go through fighting to get everything back because you signed it. So it's almost like, what do you want to call it? It's almost like theft identity. But the person didn't steal it. You gave them permission to because you were too lazy to do it yourself. So
Indeed.
that's some of the best advice, I can give you artists to help yourself from the beginning. Just go from the beginning, man. Just think about it, man. Because most of y'all like to make the record first. Okay. Once you go make the record, okay, from that point, this is what you need to do. I'm gonna give you a step-by-step play. And if you do it this way, you can't mess up. Okay. When you go to make the record with the engineer, producer, whoever you're going to make it with, You want to go in there with a split sheet. Okay? You go in there with a split sheet. The split sheet is going to tell you the terms and conditions of with you and the producer. All the percentage and the points is all on that sheet. Reason why I say you need to get this done then, because if you take that record and go out without having that agreement or something in writing from that producer or engineer, they can change the terms and conditions at will. You can go out here and start working the record, and the record's starting to get girth, and you think you finna get something. Nah, they can go in and say, okay, well, I need 80% of that. It's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. I can tell you about big people that fell in the same predicament, not knowing the business. That's why I say, you get that split sheet. The next thing you want to do is get an ASCAP, a BMI, or a CSAC. That's the next thing you need to do. Because guess what? By having those and you reporting everything to them, they're going to get that money for you. Because that's how they get paid. They're going to get that money. Because, see, you got to pay them their annual fees. So that's their job. So you come out better getting them to collect all your money versus you trying to collect your money. You trying to run down Spotify and Apple and all that. Man, it's going to be a headache. Versus they know what to do. They can go in there and say, they got the rights to get this. There ain't nothing they can do. They can send it all over to you in one check. So it might be something you want to think about. Because I know a lot of you artists, you try to go deal with Spotify, direct. If I'm not mistaken, I think Sony has their own thing now. It's just like Spotify. The only difference is you can cash out on it. It lets you see the money that you're making. You can cash out right there. And if your record is doing well, you can even get an advance on your record. That's selling. Yeah, Sony done figured it out. They doing real big things. But you have to be on the level to get that. That's not for any artist. I want you to know that's not for any artist. They make it sound like it is, but there's certainties and numbers that you have to have because we be in meetings and that's what they be talking about in the meeting. So it's just, info for you guys to use at your discretion to be successful. And for all you guys that, it's not enough information on here, you can reach out to me. Like I said, 252-228-9007. Like I said, me and my brother right here beside me, Mr. Slay Stone. Brother, I got a lot of respect for. We're going to be putting up this class real soon. Right now, I suggest everybody sign up. There's going to be two classes. It's going to be the one where you can sign up and you can go see anytime in the convenience of your own home. And we're also going to take what we call the performance workshop on the road, where we're going to be coming to different cities. It's going to be a whole workshop for the day. It's probably going to start about 12, 1, depending on the time in the city and all that. We get that worked out. I'm going to bring you guys in. We're probably going to be doing about 40 students each thing. Sign up. I'm going to have the teachers in there. It's going to teach you step by step. You call it thing. You put it on the board where you do the whole thing on the board, everything. We just did one in Chicago. It was real successful. We got more students signing up. We're trying to get our next city. I know we're getting ready to set up one in North Carolina. We're going to set up one in Atlanta. And we're going to set up one in Florida. I know those are 3 next cities. If you have a city that you think that we should come to, don't be afraid, like I said, to hit me up on the 252-228-9007. And we can get that done as soon as
Indeed.
possible.
Indeed. Well, I appreciate all them jewels you gave us, man. I just really wanted you to get that out, and I'm glad you did, sharing that with everybody. What makes you unique from other DJs? What makes Mixed Mafia DJs different from other coalitions that are out there? What makes you unique?
I guess what from being in a lot of coalitions, most coalitions are just about numbers. It's about how many DJs that they say they got in their coalition. So when they sell you on their packages, you basically buying the packages because per se, a coalition has 2,000 or more DJs. So when you buy whatever you buy from them, what they're selling you is, okay, we got 2,000 DJs, so we got 2,000 some DJs that's gonna be pushing your record. Now, how true that is, I don't know. I'm not gonna say it happens. I'm not gonna say it don't happen because I'm not here to badmouth anybody. Everybody has to eat. Everybody make their money a little differently. But I think what makes Mixed Mafia different, we don't go on numbers, and you got to be hand selected. It's not nothing you can just come and sign up on, and it's like that. It's not like that. You have to be hand selected. It's a method that you have to go through. Another thing about Mixed Mafia DJs versus all other coalitions, everybody that's a Mixed Mafia DJ, they not only are a DJ, they also have something else going on that they bring to the table. Each DJ on our team does something for the team besides DJ. For example, Slate is a Mixed Mafia DJ. Slate is, I call him the indie advocate. Slate gets all the indie artists. He helps think of the packages that we're going to do for the indie artists. Like we're going to start doing, me and Slate are going to start doing indie compilations promoting the indie artists. And that's something that me and him do. So everybody on the team got a different job that they do. So I think that's what makes us different. We don't concentrate on the numbers. We just concentrate on hard work. I think when it comes to work, I think no coalition outworks us. They might have more numbers, but I don't think they outwork us. That's just, my personal opinion. Anybody that beg to differ, hey, everything is up for debate. Like MC Shan said, anytime you put it out there, you put yourself in a position to get debated against. So I'm ready for that.
Indeed, my brother. What value do you bring? What value does DJ Cat X bring to the industry and to those who work with you?
First of all, I try to uplift my team, treat everybody not as human beings, because I think that's a lame term, but I look at all my brothers, everybody that's either in Mixed Mafia DJs or the music doctors or anything else that's associated with the Mixed Mafia family or the Mixed Mafia network, as we call it. I try to treat them like family. I try to create money making opportunities for everyone. Everything that I come across, I bring it back, to my brothers where they have money making opportunities. The same opportunities that I get personally for me, I don't keep them to myself. I get them to my brothers. Everybody on Mixed Mafia, if it's anything that's being sold, the person that sold it, they get money. That's what I do. If you you sell a radio package, you get money. Anything that you do, you get money. These compilation I'm talking about, the me and Slate doing, it's money involved. I believe in everybody should get something to eat. I don't believe in pimping nobody out on no percentages. I don't like that. You sell a $2,000 package and you only get 10%. I don't know. That worries me. To me, that I call it those people pimping those people out. And I've been with those coalitions and what they did, and that's what made this whole thing start where it was. Like I said, the Mixed Mafia DJ started from the strip club, but now it's evolved. Now, like we're in the midst of getting ready to throw a big Mixed Mafia conference. We're just debating: do we want to do the regular conference like everybody else, or do we want to take it on the boat? But we're about to do something real big. I'm going to get the Mixed Mafia DJs, the music doctors, because they're all up under the umbrella. And we're going to put something real big together for you guys. I've been, collecting everything. I've been collecting everything and not using up, none of my resources. So when it's time to use some, we're going to be ready. We definitely are about ready now.
Indeed, my brother. So, what solutions do you solve? What problems do you solve in your lane as far as with DJs or the music industry? What solutions does Celebrity DJ Cat X and the Mixed Mafia Network bring?
Well, I got a simple solution I use on everything that's been tend to work for me for years. It's called PYP. It's called Play Your Position. I try to give everybody in my organization or in my network a position. And as long as they're in their position, I can guarantee them that their toes won't get stepped on and nobody else is going to run in their lane. And I think that's the key to success. Everybody need their own lane. Once you get your own lane on what you're doing, hey, it shouldn't be, no problem because this your lane. We respect you. You know what you do. Shouldn't be nobody lane. That's why everybody has a position and they do what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like you the independent advocate. So, we rely on you with the independent artists. I mean, I hear a lot of them too. They got their opinions, but I value your opinion more because most of the artists that you send me, the music is actually good. Because when you hear a lot of indie artists, a lot of times you don't expect it to be good. You expect it to be what it is now. And a lot of times, just because what it is now, it don't necessarily mean that it's good. It's what it is now. But majority of the music that you pick out, it's not what's going on now. It's real music and it has a substance, it has a meaning behind it. So I know you're looking into it more than just what's hitting now. So a lot of person they just hit what's going on at that beat. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it. Nah. We looking for something that has a meaning and a hold to it, and that's what you bring. Just like Ryan. Ryan, he's the voiceover. Anything that got to do with voiceover and putting a commercial together and things, that's what Ryan does for the crew. Reg, he makes the shirts. You know what I'm saying? We got other DJs that's in there DJing, but then they're trying to find their own lane. They constantly, trying to find stuff that make them the asset instead of just being a DJ. I tell anybody can be a DJ, but I try to teach my DJs, how to be brands. I'm trying to teach everybody in the music doctors how to be a brand. You know what I'm saying? To be something better. My goal is to make everybody be able to stand up because if I'm just standing up by myself and I'm standing up, it's just me by myself. It's only gonna be stronger when it's a whole bunch of us standing up and we're all equal. We all got money. If we all got money, the person that's leading don't have to fall that far. If he fall off, because anybody's subject to fall off. Anybody. None of us is God, so we know there's going to be uptime, there's going to be downtime. So when the downtime comes, if all my people got something, I don't fall as far, so it's not hard for me to get up, they can catch me. See what I'm saying? But if, they don't have nothing, I was the one leading, then boom, I get taken out. It's like in war. If, you have to have the second in command and you have to have that down. So it keeps going. It keeps going. And that's what you want to build. That's why, I'm just a stickler on PYP. That's
No
just my
doubt.
motto.
No doubt. How do you give back to the community?
I always do, things for the community. I do a lot of stuff for the community. I do a lot of stuff mainly for kids. I do a lot of, stuff for kids. We do events for kids. Matter of fact, September the 11th, we're doing a big increase the peace cookout. We're going to be giving away food, all this stuff. We got some sponsors come in. We're going to be giving away stuff. Artists going to be performing. We're going to have speakers. It's going to be different. Like I said, being that's going to be about in peace decrease, then peace to increase, and peace increase the peace. So it's going to be about that. That's what it's going to be about. We're going to be talking to the kids about the guns. I'm trying to get up with the police department, see if we can do, a gun turn in, subtle, alternatives to help the kids out. Because I'm telling everybody, it's not about people like me. Because I tell people all the time, I'm on the outro. And when you ask what the outro is, I'm up there. So I'm on the outro. So the only thing I'm doing is preparing to leave this earth. That's what I'm preparing for. So in that, I have to teach the youth. See, to have knowledge is responsibility. And your responsibility is to teach the youth. Everything grows from the youth. And that's the only way we're going to get change. An old person like me can't change. Because I'm only going to reach so many. The youth is what reaches. What makes the Nation of Islam so strong is the fruit of Islam. When you take away the fruit, come on. That's how the tree keep growing. I don't know.
Indeed.
Some
Indeed.
people just don't get these things, but that's where it's at, man. It's all about the youth slate. It's just, it's helping these kids. Like these classes that I'm gearing. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I get some older people in there, I'm gonna teach them. But my intent is to get the kids. Like for the city in Charlotte, I did a class for them. It was basically for the troubled kids. And what the city did, the city gave me like 80 grand. They said, we're going to give you 80 grand and we're going to give you all the parks and recs. So you got to be able to pay your staff for the summer and you got to be able to put it up in parks and rec and we'll get you the students. Cool. So I took on 10 parks and recs. I had to teach 4 days a week. Yeah, 4 days a week. Had to teach 4 days a week for the summer. Okay, I had all the parks and recs. But now, being that I'm the head instructor, I got to go to all these places to make sure everything is working. So I had to get Sam Ash to donate me the equipment to go in all these places. So we got all that worked out. So it was a lot of work, but I enjoyed the work with those kids. At the end of the thing, Red Bull came in and we threw this big event, and the best kids won awards. It won trophies and everything. Now, the enjoyment that I got out of that, 3 of those students from that school are the top people here in Charlotte. Mario the Mic Man, he was one of my students. One of the baddest DJs here. Radio Club, I don't care. He go on tour with the Baby and all these big guys. That's how I teach him. DJ Ace, they call him the youngest in charge. He's a radio DJ here. Burn you down on the radio. He's the man. I got another cat. He called himself Simon the Producer. He's a producer now. He go on tours just doing production. That's how bad of it. And I got a female. Whew, she nasty. I call her the blend queen. She's nasty on some blends. She could hang with anybody I've heard blending. She's nasty. Now all these kids were troubled kids at home. They were going in and out of jail. I changed their lives. Their parents still call me at least once or twice a month. Thank you.
That's tight.
That's what I do. I mean, I was doing that, with no limit. I would throw things, for the kids and get them out. I took a lot of kids that used to sell dope, and I showed them a better way. I showed them how to do promotion. A lot of these kids, they're big time here as far as that. They went from selling dope to now they do promotion. They all make a promotion or they throwing these shows. It's like all the kids I taught. The funny part is, like, when I look around here now, 'cause like I said, I've been in Atlanta for the last 15 years. So when I come back home and I look at everybody that's doing it, it's funny because everybody that's doing it are all the people I taught. All the people that's doing the shows, all these people are up under me. They will all come and get, little bits. I'm like, man, you need to take that dope money and take that money, man, do a show. So what you mean? Hey, you don't need nothing but $6,000 to do a show. I show them, how to do it, and they took it serious. Boom, boom, boom. They the ones doing all the big shows now. They the ones doing the Rick Rosses and the Jeezys and the Drakes and the T.I.s. They doing all these big shows.
That's dope. That's dope. So I appreciate you for tapping in. I got a couple more questions. We're going to wrap it up.
Okay.
How important is networking to you and your business and your brand?
Right now, I tell people, when you seen Taco Bell merge with Kentucky Fried Chicken, that was a sign. You're talking about two independent powerhouses that had to merge together. So with that being said, I think network is key. Like I said, the name of the company, I changed from Mix Mafia Radio to the Mix Mafia Network because that's what we're about. We're about networking with as many like-minded individuals up under the umbrella. And right now, we are crazy. We got Phenom Radio. We got HuMag. We got the Sony Orchard, man. We got, man, there's so many. Until I had that sheet in front of me with that flyer with everybody on it, I can't even read them off like that. But it's just a building it's just a building conquest of getting with all these people. Because remember, a fist has way more power than a finger. So the same thing, comes with networking. The more people you got on your team, but people, when you're picking people to network with, just make sure that the person already has something going on, period. Because if they don't have anything going on, then you're going to find yourself doing the majority of the work. And people just have a habit of sitting back and not putting in their fair share. That's one thing I do with everybody in our network. They're doing their fair share. ACW, they're doing their fair share. I mean, Phenom Radio, they're doing their share. I mean, the 1000 Network, they're doing their share. Everybody that's in our network right now, I feel good and confident they're doing what they're supposed to do, and then some in their own right. And then when it's time for us to get to come together as a whole, we can do that. We're going to start having big meetings with everybody on because everybody in the network, we haven't had a conference call yet. So I think we're overdue with a conference call so everybody can meet everybody and have a general conversation so everybody can see everybody's individual goals, and then we can put them all together for that one common goal.
Indeed, indeed. Two more questions, my brother. How does your brand or business impact the industry or people around you? What impact value do you have, or do you feel you have, or you've got confirmations on from people as far as the impact you bring?
Well, for example, I'll start with HUMAG. I do all the radio for HUMAG. So by me doing all the radio for HUMAG, I'm in control of that. And Rob tells me, weekly as far as the impact, that I bring. And we got an artist right now that is looking at a 7-figure deal, basically, off of the radio that we bring. Because we put, the artist in a different light. So we bring immediate impact. And then, promotion. We got a strong promotion. Our promotion is more ground root, but we still have an impact because we understand the algorithms with everybody in the network that we know we deal with. Everybody supports everyone. So it's like I said, when you come in the network, it's not just about Mixed Mafia. It's about everybody in the network. They're supporting each other one way or another. So, radio wise, I know we have a great impact. Promotion wise, I know we have a great impact because I know, when the phone ring, what people are asking for. And that's why I want to have this big conference call with everybody in the network. So now we can all have a common goal. And I think once we all are looking at a common goal plus our individual goals, I think that's going to be big numbers.
Yes, sir. And my final question for this interview is, can you tell the people in your own words how Phenom Radio, the 1000 Network, Slate Stone, our network distribution process has brought value to Celebrity DJ CADX or has brought value to the Mixed Mafia Network?
All right. Let me start with Slate Stone, and then I'll bring Phenom Radio in. Okay, with Slate Stone, me and Slate, for those who don't know, we already had a bond. When I say we had a bond, I was pushing Slate and didn't even know who Slate was. One of the first mixtapes that I did, Slate was on it, and he was the feature artist. And I didn't know him from Adam, but that song was so dope. I made the damn song a ringtone, and now that was my song. I played that song. I played that song well out of his term. I played that song, I know, for 3-4 years. And it was on the mixtape, and I was just playing the song. So then, God puts things together now. I don't know if he sent me the song or somebody sent me the song, but when I heard the song, I put it on the mixtape, okay? After I put it on the mixtape, later on, me and Slate meet, and then, after talking, we just found out, we like-minded, so it just got better. So the value that Slate brings, like I said, he's my indie advocate. I would take his word over anybody on an indie artist. And the reason why I say that, Slate just don't pick rappers. He picks music. So there's a difference in somebody that picks rappers and somebody that picks music. It's like my hat say, I am music, not rappers. So it's a whole difference. The way his promotion, everything is solid. Everything is done is solid. I think that Slate Stone has broke a lot of people, and I think he don't get his just due. And I think we need to start giving people their flowers while they're here, because I don't even like calling people like Slate Stone the little man. I think that's an unjust term. I'm gonna say the man on the come up. I like that better. I'm gonna say the man on the come up. I just don't think that he gets his just due. It's like I told him, I'm getting the brother a plaque just because of what he does. Because I know, what he does for me, my organization, and then I'm looking at what he do daily as a whole. Now, far as Phenom Radio, and I deal with a lot of radio stations. I want you people to know that I deal with a whole bunch of radio stations. I think there's not a better indie format than Phenom Radio. And the reason why I say that, a lot of stations just put your music on and it just goes on and it's a term. Let's say 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Slate and Phenom don't do that. Basically, once your song go on, it's basically on. And to me, I don't know nobody showing love like that. Because first of all, he don't play no crap. So he's able to keep a song on years. Even the DJs, they're on years. It's not like, he changed. A lot of stations you got to keep changing because you're going on with the time. Slate is in his own lane. Phenom, they're in their own lane. So with that being said, it just makes everything fly and it's effective. I couldn't even give him all these praise if it wasn't effective. It gets, results. So if you were ever questioning about if you should hire Phenom or Slate Stone for a project, whether it be a single, or album, promotion, record, anything, you shouldn't have to second guess yourself. It should be the obvious choice. Because once you get in with him, he's going to get you in with everybody else with everything that you need. Because he knows he has a network to deal with. He's going to do his part. Remember, I told y'all, PYP, play your position. Same rules. He knows what he can do. Once it get out of his hand, he's going to take it to the next person network and on down the line. And when we say people, the network is heavy, we got everything, man. We got fashion, we got food, everything. There's nothing that we don't have in the network. That's why we got the Group Global Media Network app. Yeah, that's why we got that app with all the stations, man. Y'all go get that down on Google. We're trying to get it up on Apple right now. Y'all definitely make sure that you go check out the app, man. We got a special deal for your artists. You can go to one place and hear your songs played on all these stations, and we're about to add 6 more stations, man. So get in where you fit in, because pretty soon there ain't going to be no room.
Indeed. Well, salute to you. Respect, CatX. Much love for all that you've done, not only for Slate, but for Phenom, the 1000 Network, from the conference calls to the building together throughout the years we've been working together. It's definitely appreciated. It's priceless. There's not a money ticket number I could put on the value you've brought to me as an artist and our brand. And I thank you for that. May God continue to bless you in your advancements. Let people know how they can connect with you, and then we're going to sign off, man. We're going to unplug this thing.
All right. Basically, best, like I said, Instagram, Celebrity DJ CatX. Matter of fact, everything is Celebrity DJ CatX. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. That's all one thing. DM me. But if you're trying to get with me direct, hit 252-228-9007. I'm going to slow it down for the people that's trying to write or trying to remember. 252-228-9007. Man, I got a lot of events for you artists that's trying to be in these events. telling you, man, I got something going on majorly every week. Call, text, we'll talk about it. I'll make what I got going on fit your budget. Okay? All thing you got to do is tell me what type of budget you have, and I'm going to work with your budget, and I'm going to get you a bang for your buck.
Indeed. Salute to you, my brother. I appreciate it 1,000, man. And again, we appreciate you at the plug room, man.
Hey, man, we appreciate you. Slate, man, I wish you all the positivity in the world, man, and I hope God keep blessing you and helping you do successful things.
No doubt, my brother. Salute. Peace.
Peace.
Once again, we have tapped out of the plug room. Visit us at theplugroom.com. If you're interested in joining the plug room, being on the plug room, tapping in with us, sharing your thoughts, ideas, criticisms, whatever it is, text plug room to 559-791-8468, theplugroom.com. Also, make sure you're tapping in with the ABS, the BWO, networkabs.com, and see what it is we can do for you. Plug your business, plug your brand. Peace.